Hello, traders, investors, observers. What a day today. So, I want to do a video on a few different stocks centered around the 20-day moving average, of course. If you've watched my videos, you know I fully depend on that. This here is SPY, SPY, which represents the ETF for the S&P 500. And today, I have to tell you, when they broke the 20-day down to something like 362, I thought we might be in for it. Okay, a little worried. I'm going to touch on Palantir also. I was a little bothered by that stock yesterday. It recovered today. But what happened here? So the government was arguing over stimulus. The market, in my opinion, the uber rich, was telling them, if you are playing games with us and you don't pass this stimulus, we're going to drop down to the 50-day instead of the 20-day. And they breached the 20-day. So if they go up tomorrow and hold, say, 370 and don't go below it anymore, then I'd say that's a full recovery. Where it sits here, although I watched David Frost's video today, and he says this wick up here kind of shows that they may have a destination of like 378. I kind of agree with that. So we'll see. We'll see what they do. So it was a crazy day. I didn't panic sell, but I would have if my account reached a place that I felt like I might be headed for a correction in my own account. So here's SPY. Since November, we've been in a recovery from what I call home base, the 20-day. Today was the first day we breached it on the daily chart. It did relieve the RSI. It brought it down to a more reasonable level, I guess you could say. The MACD crossed in a negative direction. Tomorrow, this MACD, I would like to see go cross in the other direction. So that's the SPY. The only people that can tell you what's going to happen to the SPY are the big accounts that are the ones that move it. Don't let anybody else tell you that they know, because they don't. They don't. They could surprise us tomorrow and say the Santa Claus rally is finished and now we're going to have a deep correction and go down to 365. So here's Palantir. I'm not in Palantir. Full disclosure. I basically bought up some of the Nemo or genomic stocks as a long-term purchase. Because it may be the wave of the future, and I wish I had the names for you, but right now I'm focused on this. So what happened? If we go, let's see if we can do this. Here we go. Let's go to yesterday. The candle was very thin. It was still holding the 20-day. It was looking worrisome. What they did today, they broke this down when it hit 25 or whatever. That was when the buy the dip crowd jumped in. So clearly you have big money interested in keeping this stock from going below the 20-day. My personal belief is they're looking at the 20-day as well. So if I see this drop to 26 and hold the 20-day or 25, I may be in on a few shares. And I know a lot of people look at it. A lot of people like it. I was in a chat room, I think yesterday or the day before, and I said it's not safe here. Now, they keep this trend, keep it above the 20-day, give you 2 green days. I like it. I think the destination is 30 and above. You might want to get into the habit of thinking that way, that there's a destination. One of the other YouTubers says that all the time. We have a destination. So if you look at where my cursor is, this line here, and this candle back here, it was 30 something. This candle here is probably the all-time high of 33.50. So no, I didn't get in today. I kind of wish I did. But hey, you can't get in on every stock. And I'm holding other ones like AI that blessed my account abundantly, and I'm very happy about it. But you might want to keep an eye on this. I know so many people love it. Just watch your 20-day. Do yourself a favor. Watch your 20-day. If they bring this down to 25 and you want to buy the dip and you buy it, think about where's your stop loss going to be if they decide to drop it. Okay? Protect your trades. Protect your money. It's better to lose a little bit than lose a lot. So some people wait forever. I'm going to wait forever for something to come up. And they tie up their money. Okay, VERI, full disclosure, I am in this one. I was trading it along with Palantir when back here probably, and I was making good. I started trading it on my hobby account, my Robinhood account, probably back here when it was, back here. I got a tip from one of the other YouTubers, and I started buying 5 shares at a time. And I started, buying low and just holding. And then when I saw it break out here, I think I sold it on my Robinhood, and I watched it, and I got in. I started flipping it, what I call flipping it, trying to get a dip, and then maybe the next day. So I wrote it to something like 30 maybe. I sold 150 shares, I guess. I held 50, thinking it would go up, and then I was disappointed. But what do I tell you? What do I tell you? What do I watch? What's home base? What's my criteria? Where do I think it's going to bounce? I watched the 20-day. So I held those 50 shares. I had made money already. I was ahead, and I held my 50 shares. Here, I didn't like this right here. But it was 3 red days. Held the 20-day, I'm sorry. Here, I was a little worried yesterday. And then today, I decided it's holding the 50-day. The market was weak. It didn't fall below the 20. And I bought another 50 shares. So now I'm at break even. I believe Veritone's destination. That's what you have to look at, destination. Now, this is not financial advice, right? I don't like the MACD crossed over here. This is crossed in a negative direction, but I think it's getting ready to turn up. I think it. I can't predict it, and nobody knows. You don't know. I don't know. But apparently, traders were okay with the RSI not going all the way down to 30-something, and they bought the dip off the 20-day. Okay? And for your info, I used the 20-day exponential moving average. And you could see it here if you look. Okay? So I have the 20-day on my charts. I have the 50-day. I look at the VWAP during the trading day. And sometimes I trade off the VWAP, sometimes I don't. So that's where we are with Veritone. Looks to me like if you go, I'll tell you what, let me show you something here. Here's Veritone's total history on the quarterly. So this stock at one point was something like 75 bucks. Okay? So I like that. I like that. Okay? For some reason, they pushed it all the way down to your 52-week low of $1.22. Wow, right? So I started messing with it at 9, I think, and just kept flipping shares. So now I think they're getting serious with it. Why? I don't know. You'll have to look into the fundamentals for yourself. Okay? So that's Veritone on the daily. Still holding the 20-day. I like that it bounced off it today. I'd like to see it at 30. Will I hold it? Well, I might sell 75 and hold 25. I don't know. That's how I work. I flip. I do flips. Okay? So that's Veritone. Okay, I told you about anybody that watches the videos. Not too many, but I do get some. I look at the count. I talked about this stock and why I was interested in it for 2 reasons. ARK Investment was interested in it. They had it in their portfolio. So I looked at it and I think I got it here, right? At something like 7 something. I think I actually own it at 736, something like that. Bought it on a dip, or just kept like buying 50 shares or so, and that was my average. All right? So I said back here, and I put it in one of the chat rooms, that because of this gap, and because ARK Investments is involved in this name, that I liked it. And for those 2 reasons, and it's hold in the 20 days, see? Home base. So today, look, we did pretty good today. It's up to 950 something. I'd like to see it hold 10. If it holds 10, I'm going to hold my shares. I'm not going to sell it. I think it may end up becoming a better stock in the future. I don't know the total history. Let's see. Okay, it's a fairly new stock. Here's the first candle. It's a new IPO, and it was up here, right? So it's got room to run, in my opinion. That's an opinion. It's not advice. And if I see it hold 10, I don't have tons of money in there. And if it holds 10 and goes above 10, then why not keep it as a long-term investment? So that is Aqua Bounty Tech. I like it. I don't know. I never advise on entry points. It filled the gap today. So what's it going to do? I don't know. I believe stocks fill these gaps. I believe they do. And it filled the gap. I was kind of counting on it. That's part of my strategy. Aqua Bounty Tech. Will it get to 10 tomorrow? I don't know. You judge for yourself. It may. Okay. I mentioned this one the other day. I'm not in this one. Okay. I have an order out there. It's not executed yet. Now, looking at my strategy, what you hear me discuss when you watch these videos, you'll remember I talked about a gap. Some guys would think that the gap was filled over here on 12.2. I disagree. Some guys would say the gap was filled over here on 12.18. I would disagree. Okay? I made this line here, and I'll show you how I do it on the Webull, right? If you want to know, I go to the day. I look up here. What does it say up here? 282 in this spot. Watch. 282. 287 was the high of the day. So I made a vertical line here to show that hey John, you don't have to enter this trade, but if it goes down to, I have an order ready to execute at 275, just so you know. I'm not in this trade, full disclosure. It went all the way to $4 in the aftermarket, okay? And on the daily, yesterday, it breached the 20-day. Stocks have a destination. What do I believe the destination is? I believe they're trying to fill the gap down here, and then it's gonna run back up to about 4. Okay, that's my belief. This has to do with, I believe, charging systems with the electric vehicle industry. I'm watching it. That's my strategy, and I wanted to share it with you. I look at the daily, I look at the 20. It breached the 20. I want it to breach the 20 again and bounce off that. If it doesn't, guess what? It doesn't owe me anything, and I don't owe it anything, and I don't have to enter the trade. Okay, NEO. I just wanted to touch on NEO because I've been watching it. I'm not in it. I got out too early, and today I probably would have got in it had I seen it go down to 45. It looked to me like the experienced rich accounts wanted to make it look like they were crashing the market today. That's speculation. But I was talking about NEO back here, that I was worried about it because, and then here I was a little bit impressed, but everybody was, like a lot of people were pumping it up, and I said be careful. In the same day, I think I said be careful here because it had gone down to 43.90 and it breached the 20-day. And then on the same day, I made another video that I was impressed because it worked out. I want you to look at this candle. This candle right here. It's called a hammer. A hammer is a very bullish candle. Because I'll tell you why. This is an indecisive candle back here, right? On the 16th. This is a hammer. It's a bullish candle. Why? Look at the candle. You'll see a wick underneath. What does it mean? It means they dropped the price all the way down to 45.63. The shorts covered, the bulls took over, and the bulls held it. They didn't take profits, but they held it to, on this day, they held it at exactly 46. I think it went to 46.05 or something after market. This is not the greatest of candles the very next day, but they held the 20-day. Now today, they brought a lot of volume in. It's not really, I don't think it's a bullish engulfing candle. I don't know what it's called. It's got a wick on the top and a wick on the bottom. So, but that's a bullish candle, whatever you want to call it. I think an engulfing candle doesn't have wicks. After hours, it sold a few shares. That's okay. I see this thing drop to 45 again. The way my strategy works, I'm probably going to get in. I might not go in very big, but I think NEO has a future. Okay? Now, I was talking about a destination. What do I believe the destination is? I believe they're headed to 50, and then probably 55. That's not advice. That's supposition. That's an opinion, and I can be wrong about that. But I want to tell you about the whole market and what I've seen in 5 years. Okay? When they do this, Come on, SPY. Okay. When they do stuff like this and drop the market, the SPY, below the 20-day, okay? They basically dropped it and recovered it. That's volatility. I'm not a fan of that. Okay? We'll see what they do tomorrow. Tomorrow, if they get up above, say, 371 or something and they hold, okay. But when you're trading during the day, or even when you're swing trading, you need to watch the S&P 500. You can do it by watching SPY. Okay? Watch the Nasdaq. Okay? Let's see if I can bring it up really fast. I think it's NDX. There it is. Okay? Watch your Nasdaq. Okay? The Nasdaq did not breach the 20-day. And don't go by opinions. I saw a young guy's video yesterday, and I looked at his history because he knows how to make good videos, right? He's got a lot of followers. He's got people donating to his cause and everything. And I watched an old video, and he said the SPY was down, the S&P was down because Apple is in the S&P, and Apple is down. Well, guess what, guys? This guy that's making money off of his chat room doesn't know what he's talking about. Apple is not in the S&P. Apple is in the Nasdaq. Okay? So don't look at opinions. Try to read these charts. Even if you're just going by this 20-day, right? Even if you try to come up with a strategy that says, if I'm 100 down on the day, I'm getting completely out. Make rules for yourself. If you lose the 100 and the market bounces back up, it's really not that big of a deal if you have a $25,000 account. If you lose $5,000 because you didn't get out and the market crashed, then you're going to wait a very long time to regain that money. Okay? Crashes are easier than recoveries. Okay? So that's my advice. I've been doing this 5 years. I mostly made mistakes for those 5 years, and I've learned by those mistakes. Okay? Thanks for watching. Hope I didn't bore you. God bless.